What if the money in your wallet quietly lost its power while you were asleep, and almost nobody noticed until prices were already higher at the grocery store, the gas pump, and the mortgage desk? Tonight, I'm going to show you exactly why that happens, what it means for your future, and the 4 places smart money runs to when the dollar feels shaky. No panic, no politics, just the playbook. Let's rewind. In 1944, the US dollar became the world's reserve currency. That status made America the financial anchor of the planet. One big reason the world trusted the dollar back then? Gold. Real, physical gold backed our money, which limited how many dollars could exist. Here's the simple loop. Washington collects tax, revenue income tax, corporate tax, you know the drill. Then it spends on healthcare, Social Security, defense, and 1,000 other things. The catch? We typically spend more than we collect. That gap gets filled with debt. Who lends to the US government? Regular Americans through treasuries. Foreign nations that want safety and interest. And when there still isn't enough, the central bank steps in. Enter the Federal Reserve, America's central bank. You can't open a checking account there, but it can create dollars and influence interest rates. When the dollar was tied to gold, money creation had a hard limit. If you print more, you'd better have more gold. That cap helps preserve your purchasing power, but it also slows growth because our economy runs on spending. And the biggest spender in America isn't Amazon or Tesla, it's the US government. Now, picture an engine without a governor. In the early 1970s, foreign holders of dollars started asking for gold instead of paper. Our gold pile shrank. So in 1971, President Nixon temporarily severed the dollar's link to gold. Well, temporary became permanent. From that point on, the dollar was backed by trust faith that the US could pay its bills. Fast forward. Concerns about inflation and dollar strength come in waves. After the housing crash in 2008, the Fed used a tool called quantitative easing. Translation: create new dollars, buy assets, and push money into the system to stop the freefall. The economy stabilized, markets healed, and big inflation didn't show up right away. Everyone exhaled. Then came 2020. The world shut down. Markets plunged at record speed. To prevent a depression, the Fed and Congress flooded the system with trillions of fresh dollars in emergency programs. To grasp the scale, in 2019, the entire US economy produced about $21 trillion of value. Then boom, an amount equal to a big chunk of that was created in the blink of an eye. Economists debated, will this cause inflation or deflation? You lived the answer at the checkout line. By 2021, prices were climbing. At first, we heard it was transitory. But higher costs stuck around. And here we are decades after the gold tie was cut. Years after bailouts and money printing, facing a reasonable question. How durable is the dollar's dominance? That's where the global conversation heats up. Some analysts argue trust in the dollar can erode if debt keeps climbing. Others say the US remains the safest, deepest market with the strongest rule of law and military protection. Both things can be true. The dollar can stay on top and still wobble from time to time. So what do wealthy investors do when they're nervous about the dollar? Our research keeps finding the same for hedge buckets. Physical gold, real estate, foreign businesses, and Bitcoin. Let's break each down in plain English so you can think for yourself. First up, physical gold. Gold takes real work to mine, and its supply is limited. Historically, when people worry about paper money, they flock to hard money. That's why gold often spikes in periods of currency fear. But nothing goes straight up. Gold is not a magic elevator. It cycles with sentiment. I think of gold as savings, not a growth engine. It won't pay you rent or dividends. It just sits sand. That's the point. It's fire insurance for your wealth. Number 2, real estate. Unlike gold, property can pay you while you hold it. It's a hard asset, the land, the bricks, the windows. If the dollar weakens, prices and rents often reset higher over time, preserving your purchasing power. That duplex can still generate rental income, whether you price it in dollars or chickens. The value is still there. The risks: debt, bad tenants, and maintenance costs. But as a hedge against inflation that also provides income, real estate is tough to beat. Third is foreign businesses. If your entire portfolio lives and dies by the US dollar, you're exposed to one weather system. Adding non-US companies spreads that risk. You don't need a Swiss bank account. US-listed ETFs can own baskets of stocks from Europe, Japan, India, or Latin America. Developed markets are steadier. Emerging markets have more upside and more volatility. Who's to remember different countries mean different rules and politics? And number 4, Bitcoin. Think of it as digital hard money. Its supply is capped, and it lives outside any one government. Fans call it digital gold. Skeptics point to its stomach-churning crashes. Both are right. Bitcoin offers huge upside and huge risk. It's not for your rent money. It's for a measured slice of a long-term, diversified plan, if you can handle the volatility. Now, before anyone sprints to extremes, this is not a call to dump your dollars and move to a bunker. The US still has massive strengths: innovation, deep capital markets, and legal protections. The goal isn't panic, it's positioning. If the dollar keeps leading, you're fine. If it wobbles, you're still fine because you diversified. Here's a practical way to think about this, not advice. Just a mental model. Your core should be broad US stocks and bonds. Add a slice of inflation hedges, like real estate or gold. Mix in some global exposure with international funds, and maybe a small, speculative slice of Bitcoin you can hold through the wild moves. Size each slice based on your age, risk tolerance, and how well you sleep at night. Personal finance is personal. A few simple rules to stay sane. Dante, make forever decisions on yesterday's headlines. Automate your investments so emotions don't drive the bus. And keep us 6 months of expenses in cash for emergencies. Boarding wins. One last reality check about all these charts and booms. Emotions are the enemy of profits. It's easy to buy what just went up and sell what just fell. Flip it. Accumulate quality assets when they're out of favor and hold through the noise. Let compounding do the heavy lifting. If you want help building an edge, I put together a free investing masterclass that walks through how to spot opportunities before they hit the headlines. The link's in the description. Quick recap. The dollar's power comes from trust. Big money creation can stoke inflation. Smart investors often tilt toward gold, real estate, foreign stocks, and Bitcoin to hedge. You don't have to choose one camp. Diversify, size your bets, and stay consistent. Question for you. Which of these 4 hedges makes the most sense for your situation right now? Tell me why in the comments, and I'll reply with a practical next step you can take. If this breakdown helped, tap like, share it with someone asking why everything costs more, and subscribe for more no-nonsense strategies. The headlines will keep changing. Your plan doesn't have to, because the dollar may rise and fall, but disciplined investors keep climbing one smart move at a time.